Right boys, new video today. I'm going to be making a beat and then showing you some little techniques that I use to get my hi-hat sounding better, harder, crispier, there's no other words to describe them, spicier. So yeah, let's get started and make some nice melodies. Or in fact not make some nice melodies, because listen to this, using the Soundcloud keyboard trick. Thank you very much, Deep Electronics Ambient Sessions #73 Spacecraft. Okay, let's find the key. A minor. Isn't it weird that A minor and C major are the exact same? It's not that weird, is it? Okay, well, a weird guitar loop. Alright, we've got a pretty dark, ominous beat going on at the minute. I am clever and I have loads of hi-hat presets that I make. You know, MIDI files that I can just kind of drop in and make beat making a little bit easy. Because not everyone has that. People usually start with a two-step. Which on this beat sounds quite plain and boring. One thing I like to do, dead easy, if you've got a MIDI keyboard, just get your quantize settings to the 1/32. Just kind of hit some rolls on your keyboard when you think it might sound appropriate. So I'm just going to randomly do that now. So I'm just going to make them quieter than the rest of the hat. Another thing that you can do that's pretty cool, these last few notes here, if I just delete them, turn that into a 16th or whatever, paste all the way to the end, and then use your pencil tool to draw the velocity down. Let me just show you that. Soloed. Another thing you can do, you can automate pitch bend just to go up and down like the tiniest bit. So I can do that by either using, you can automate the pitch bend thing in Reason or whatever DAW you're using, or in my case, if you've got a MIDI keyboard, you can have a little pitch bend button thing. So if you just slowly sort of drag that down and back up again whenever you want. So I'm going to do that now. You see the pitch bend thing there is kind of all over the shop. You can clean them up by leaving the highest and lowest points, but maybe just clearing up some of the bits you don't want. So, some basic stuff you can do. If you edit the actual hi-hat sample that you're using, cut it so that the end point is set right as the sample ends. Change it to reverse mode, play mode to backwards. Another cool thing you can do if you want some bits to be forward, some bits to be backward, cut a section out that you want to be backwards, duplicate your hats, cut out the sections so you've got two different copies of it like that, and then in the copied version of the sampler, just change it to backwards mode. Or solo these out and you'll be able to tell as soon as it hits this little section there, it will reverse them. Sounds pretty cool. This is where things can get crazy. Effects that I usually put on my hi-hats to make them sound a bit wild. Melder Auto Panner, free bit of kit, it's fantastic. So I've mentioned in previous videos, the depth is how far left and how far right. So depth 0, that is no panning. Depth 100, that is going from hard left to hard right. The rate, as you can see, this little bar on the screen is going like mad. That is how fast it will be going from left to right. That's an appropriate speed. I mean, you can do whatever you want, really. Depth, I never really like to take it much more than anywhere between 20 and 30, depending on what track it is. So we'll set it to 20%. Headphone users, you'll be able to tell as soon as I start playing this. If you look up here in the hat speed, you can actually see the left and rights jumping. So not only are we jumping left and right, the pitch bend's also taking us up and down as well, so it sounds like it's all over the place. Obviously, the further wide you get, the more crazy it will sound as well. The next thing that I do especially in like the anti-faux type beats where you want the hi-hat to hit harder, be more noticeable, is add chorus, which sounds weird because you normally put chorus on melodies. Add it on, keep the preset, keep the stereo width where it is because you want things to be nice and wide. Just has just a bit more impact to it when it hits. Sometimes, if you want it to be extra crazy, add a second chorus. You can only imagine what that sounds like. You know what? I'm going to play that with the melody and see what it sounds like. I sometimes, depending on what type of beat, if it's like a more spacey type beat and less hard, I'll sometimes add a reverb, literally with the tiniest bit of dry ever, literally 1 or 2. I'll play that soloed. You can just hear it slightly in the background. So that's on, off. So yeah, that sounds good. I'm going to finish this beat and play it at the end, but before I do, I just want to show you a couple of examples of the slightly more crazier hat patterns that I've got and how it affects them. Okay, so this beat, I'll give you a quick preview of what the beat sounds like as a whole before I go in depth on the hi-hats. As you can tell, the hi-hat pattern on this is quite mad. One thing you sometimes hear of big producers is don't overcomplicate things, but they never talk about the other side of that. We're not all making like internet money, like Juice WRLD type beats. Like some beats do sound way better with this sort of crazy hi-hat stuff going on. Any Lancey Faux beat that you've heard, not from me, but his actual beats, ones that have like Jay Trench on production, crazy, but it works. It sounds so good. So let me just solo these hats for you, just so you can hear exactly what's going on. Okay, so this is actually a different hi-hat to the one we used last time. This is a Kyle Beats hi-hat. The raw hat without effects sounds like that. A very high decay reverb on. You see how on that pattern it just does not come down. 2 choruses, and then I've got the auto panner. On this one, I've actually gone for 25%. It's mainly the pattern, to be honest. As long as your pattern fits with what type of beat you're doing, it's going to sound good. Doing like the reverse stuff, if the beat doesn't need crazy hi-hats, you don't need to do crazy hi-hats. If you're doing, again, like I said, like a Juice WRLD type beat, you're not going to need it to sound like this. You might just want to stick with like a basic 2-step. For your effects, reverb's not always a go-to for me. Definitely always have 1 chorus, and I usually always have an auto panner as well. A second chorus want it to be extra hard, and then the reverb for when I want a bit of extra noise going on in the background. That's all the secret hi-hat formula that I've got for you today. But stick around because I'm going to play the beat at the end. It's going to be a good one. Might add some extra melodies to it because it was quite plain when I was doing the hi-hat thing. Use these methods yourself. You can do them on any DAW, doesn't have to be Reason. See what we can come up with. Let me know if you make a beat using some crazy stuff like this. I might actually drop these MIDI patterns, so let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff, and I will see you on the next one.